With that, I would like to introduce Mark Fish, who is the business leader for the Yale product offering. Mark, the floor is yours and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. And good morning to all, I guess noon now, to all. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate you taking the time. I guess to some, we're probably a little closer to home than we normally are. So obviously it's been a tough time for all, but we're hopeful that in time this thing will pass as well. We just wanted to give you a little update before Patrick Bleser, our national sales manager, kind of goes into the slide deck. But from a ASSA ABLOY standpoint, at Yale, we are part of ASSA ABLOY along with the August brand. We are the two brands that make up the Smart Residential group. And we, with all this COVID-19 going on, I just want to let you know we are up and running. Our facility in the Connecticut warehouse is shipping on a regular basis. Our factories are in various places, but we do have one in China, and it is up and running and shipping at about 80%. And we have significant inventories built up in our Connecticut warehouse. We are obviously taking special, it's a special circumstance with people up and running in Connecticut, and we're doing the temperature checks as people walk in, and we put up barriers, et cetera, to help protect them. And so far, so good. No cases reported in any of our ASSA ABLOY facilities around the U.S. So in general, though, here's the slides up, just as an FYI for folks that don't know ASSA ABLOY. We are operating in 70 countries, close to 50,000 employees, and we're at about $10 billion in total U.S. dollars. Us at Yale, we make up part of the residential group here in the U.S., the Smart Residential group. That's actually a global group, but Yale being the primary brand across the globe that helps drive that. And again, as I mentioned earlier, August is another brand for us. So what I'd like to do today is have Patrick kind of go into a little more depth on the product range for Yale in August, but also talk about some potential ideas that are maybe a little timely now, given what's going on, that might work for you guys in your businesses. So with that, Patrick, please take it from here.
Super, Mark. Hey, thank you so much, and good morning to all who have joined us on this call. I think Mark nailed it. You know, we're really just going to scratch the surface a little bit today. At the end of this, of course, we're going to provide you with some resources. You are certainly welcome to reach out to us if you want to take a deeper dive into some other areas. But that being said, we're going to give you a nice overview today on our product lineup, but I also want to give you some tools that you can put into action really right now. And in conjunction with our partners, of course, at ADI as well. You'll see some of that as we go through this. But I want to take a look at things that really pertain to, again, what we're all doing currently to drive our businesses. And this is just one look at something you might be able to do a little bit differently, and kind of leads back to the title of this presentation, which is hands-free or carefree, right? So let's dive right in and kind of look at the brands and, again, just establish ourselves as the leader in this space. So we've had the good fortune at Yale and August, right, who is another ASSA ABLOY brand, but paired and partnered very closely with Yale. We've had the great fortune of being recognized as a top smart lock brand by several different outlets. So as we move through this, you know, certainly understand that we've been leaders in this space for some time, and our goal has always been, you know, what kind of technologies can we offer that allow our partners, our dealers, to move themselves forward, right? It is incumbent upon us to give you those tools to pull you forward within this business channel or these channels. That's our role. That's what we do. We're the pros in this space, and we take that very, very seriously. The good news is, you know, we're going to talk residential here a little bit. We're going to talk commercial as well, right? The good news is there is so much opportunity still available to us. And yes, right now we're going through some challenging times, but the opportunity is still there, and maybe we just need to find a new way to crack it. My hope is that what comes out of this, and some of my thoughts that I want to share with you, have staying power and can be sustained. It's not just something to be used today, but maybe it's something to be used today and then going forward. And again, I think you'll see that as we talk about the offering we want to present you with. So that being said, what verticals do we address very, very well here at Yale? You know, we're not a one-stop shop. We never have been. And maybe it's the good fortune that Assa Abloy, you know, brings to us as our parent company. But we really have product to address the residential marketplace, small business, commercial, vacation rental, multifamily, just booming, as many of you on this call probably know, traditional security as we see it, and then of course also the CEDIA channel. So again, we're not here to offer you one product that fits only one specific vertical. We're here to really give you a breadth of product to address needs within all of these verticals. So I'm going to dive right into, I think, a real opportunity here, and then we'll take a nice look at our product line and some new products we're bringing forward as well. But it came to me a couple of weeks ago to say, you know, what can we do here to expose some opportunity? And I really believe that a self-install program, although it's been talked about for many, many years, hasn't really reached its potential. And we know that right now more than ever, hands-free is carefree, right? More and more folks are doing things differently these days. And these are some really neat statistics. So there's something out there that we call the contactless movement, believe it or not. And that's not a phrase I came up with. It's out there, right? And there's numbers behind it. But over the last few years, we've seen some trends. 79% of credit card payments made are what we call contactless enabled. 77% of drugstores and pharmacies share in that, or make that up, and 61% of grocery stores. Apple Pay is used over by 441 million people globally. You know, think of that. Think of Venmo. People are really taking hold of what we call a contactless movement. And we see that changing every day. You know, one of the things we used to talk about in our presentations, and frankly still do, is that, you know, keyless cart entry systems have risen to over 62% in all cars sold today, right? People are not using keys. People aren't necessarily engaging with their lock or their lever or their deadbolt the way they used to. It's very contactless in nature, and we've seen that trend continuing to grow. And so I can't think of a better time to really take full advantage of that than now for all the right reasons, right? Again, hands-free is carefree. So kind of what does that mean, to take another look or a deeper dive? We know our locks have become very, very popular in many ways, right? We know that whether it's entering your home, your business, engaging in your security system or your home automation system, or what you might just think of as your access control system, typically starts at the door. Now, we know people will continue to engage with it by entering a 4-digit PIN, let's say on their deadbolt or lever. But we also know that people are engaging with it now by using geofencing or Bluetooth-enabled auto unlock or lock before they get to the door, or using the remote app. And we know at that point that once that lock is locked or unlocked, other things are taking place within your home or business or your multifamily dwelling. And that could be a scene that adjusts lights by you not having to actually touch that light switch, or your thermostat or your HVAC control, right? Or it could potentially be turning music on or off. So there are a lot of moving parts here. And that's not to suggest we're going to become a touchless society as a whole. But we do see this as an opportunity, not only for the end user to feel good about their solution and their situation and protecting their home and their loved ones, right, in various ways, but we see it as a real convenience as well. So while the world is staying closer to home, the benefits of going key-free clearly become more important than ever. And not only are we providing key-free, or I should say hand-free solutions with our electronic deadbolts and levers, but we have mechanical products that can accentuate that access control solution, right? You know, what you're seeing pictured here and what we've been marketing out now for some time and is gaining tremendous traction is what we call our Navis paddle or lever, which is really an ADA compliant lever, and it doesn't require you to have to touch it with your hand. It's a push-pull mechanism. So it could be the back of your hand, granted, could be your elbow, could be your hip, you know, could be your leg, your knee, your foot. It's really up to you, right? But at the end of the day, It's giving you contactless entry into your home. You could be walking up to that deadbolt using geofencing or Bluetooth enabled credentials. That door could unlock. You could simply push the lever with your hip and you've gained entry into your home. So again, it's a hands-free access control solution using auto unlock, geofencing, or your remote application. It provides safety and convenience to the end user in today's world that we know has become somewhat more complicated than it was, 4 or 5 weeks ago. And most importantly, I think this self-install solution that I'm going to again present here further in a minute, it allows you to provide a service to folks that otherwise might disregard that in today's world. People don't necessarily want a technician or a salesperson coming into their home right now, and that's just reality. But there's probably going to be people out there that even after this crisis, if you will continue to want to operate that way. There are folks that are fine doing a self-install and would be happy to buy this over the phone and have it sent to their house in a kit and packaged with a very simple tutorial on how to install that system, right? And in doing that, they're getting what they want. And there are some companies that have started to do this successfully, right? But I believe it's the tip of the iceberg, but they're getting what they want at the same time as, let's say, a security professional and dealer. You're getting what you need, right? Which is an additional install, a new customer, an opportunity to drive reoccurring revenue. And frankly, you're going to be doing it at a much, much lower cost. So at the end of the day, this is an opportunity for really everybody to win. So a quick look at that business model, and understand this is high level, and this is where I'd be more than happy to jump into it in a deeper fashion with you at another time. But I want to give you a neat little side by side here, and understand I come at this as somebody who was a security integrator for 25 plus years before I moved over to the manufacturing side. So I'm not putting something out here that just kind of looks neat on paper. I've lived it and walked the walk here, and it does work. So just real quick, let's look at what those costs might look like. So, what does your current security home or automation kit consist of? Now, this is you looking at this from a dealer perspective. And again, I'm rounding some numbers here, but just take hold of the model. So if this were to be a pro install or a self install, your equipment costs are really going to be the same. So let's say that kit of 3 doors, a motion detector, and a keypad, i.e. An all-in-one panel kind of thing, is $300. Let's say the investment in your Yale lock is $125. So your entire equipment cost, whether it's a pro install, meaning you're going to the home, or a self install, you're not, simply shipping that package to them via your wholesaler, right? Let's say that equipment cost is $425. In the past, on a pro install, you might pay $250 sales commission on that, depending on how that sale came through the door. If you're doing that now over the phone, it could be significantly less. I plugged in a number of $75, but again, those numbers could vary based on how you develop this business model. But somebody's still likely selling it over the phone, and for that reason, you're going to give them a spiff or some type of commission. Let's just say that's $75. On a pro install, your installation cost would likely be, let's say, $150 minimum. You've got a truck roll, and you've got to pay an installer or a technician to go out and install that system. So let's just call it $150 for sake of argument. That install cost on a self-install is what? It's zero, right? There could be a little bit of a support mechanism around that costs you a few bucks, but for all intents and purposes, it's zero. So your total cost up to that point is $825 for a pro install and $500 for a self-install, okay? Maybe you charge $99 in the form of an activation fee or an upfront charge on a pro install. Maybe it's half that roughly, or $49 on a self-install cost. That brings you down to those net costs as reflected there, $726 or $451. On a pro install, maybe you're charging $45.95 for monitoring, remote services, and to make back some of that upfront investment. Your payback period or your creation multiple there is just under 16 months. That same model on a self-install at $28.95 per month for, let's say, monitoring and remote services. And you can also do it less because you don't have that same upfront creation cost. that payback creation multiple at 28.95 is roughly, call it 16 months as well. So everything after that starts to become gravy and really pay things down. It gets lucrative. So at a very high level, take that model in, look at it, play around with it, but it's a great self-install model. You can plug in your costs and expenses associated with that, but at the end of the day, this is the model in its simplest form, and I will tell you, it works. So as right now, we're contemplating different ways to go to market. I'm not saying change all your business today to this model, but I'm saying give this a shot. Give it a try. There's opportunity here, and this is a perfect time to go out there and give customers what they need, okay? The self-install program. You will see us coming soon designing a self-install kit that we will sell through ADI with special pricing and the customer support in place to allow you to deliver that to your customers. And that'll become clear to you in the weeks to come, but we're partnering with others that will make this process very simple and easy to install. We will have the online tutorial that walks them through that. The panels that are being installed will have self-guided wizards that will make it very easy for them to install that panel. And as many of you know, with today's all-in-one, panels, if you will, whether that comes through Residio or Qualsys or whomever, I've made that process very, very easy. And we've certainly done that with our locks as well. So stay tuned there, more to come, but that shouldn't prevent you from starting to think about these opportunities. So with that, I'm going to wet my whistle here, and then we're going to give you a nice overview of our product here from Yale, keeping in mind this self-install program and what's available to you. So we feel it's really important from a residential perspective to give you multiple solutions that you can bring to the table. And that could include our August conversion product, right, which leaves the existing deadbolt in place, mechanical deadbolt, and simply takes over that deadbolt to bring it into a Z-Wave or a Wi-Fi ecosystem. Or it could be one of our many deadbolts, electronic deadbolts, or levers as well. So again, multiple solutions for different applications there residentially. That being said, we've got a broad product family. We've just introduced, some of you may or may not know this, but our new Pro-only Z-Wave products. We call that first one our Wire D136 and then our 156, but it's basically giving you the same look in a push button and or touchscreen solution. Again, those two SKUs, and you're going to see more of this, are for the Pro channel only. You will not see them in retail. So some of that channel conflict that maybe you've experienced from time to time is really removed from the equation with these Pro-only products. And we've also designed them to be very easy to install and enroll, and also address some other concerns from an install perspective. And again, I'll make that clear to you in a minute. What you're seeing then, starting with that third lock and over, are what we refer to as our Assure products. Again, these are offered in Pro as well, but you might also see these in retail. That being said, these have done extremely well in Pro, and we stay very sensitive to those pricing conflicts or those challenges between retail and Pro, and we work very hard to mitigate that. So don't be afraid, certainly, of those SKUs. They've been our bread and butter for a long, long time, but it's very, very exciting to introduce those Pro-only SKUs as well. Again, we're offering you here key-free solutions, solutions with keyways, solutions that have push buttons, solutions that are touchscreen, and then same thing with levers. What you'll also notice possibly, or I want you to take note of, is the fact that all of our key-free solutions come with what we call a 9-volt battery override. So if you're looking at these and saying, hey, what happens if those batteries fail, or I've gone out of town and the batteries die while I'm away, what do I do? You have the ability to energize our key-free solutions with a 9-volt battery, enter your code, gain entry, and then replace the batteries. And I realize, and we all know the little joke is, who carries a 9-volt battery with them? We don't expect you to do that, but that is a far better solution in that you can drive to that local drugstore, grab a $3 or $4 or $5 9-volt battery, be home in 15 minutes, and gain entry into your home versus having to call a locksmith at 10 o'clock at night. And what you're also seeing, if you look to the right here on those levers, are two little hash marks under the 0. That is also the 9-volt battery override that we are now starting to include on some of our keyed solutions, in this case, our lever locks, because we have found that whether you have a keyed solution or not, the key goes away. People just stop using it or don't use it to begin with. And this all leads back to what? Hands-free is carefree. So all of these characteristics and behaviors, we've been watching for the last 6 years are all leading back to the business model I presented a minute ago. So take heed in that. A couple of new things we're introducing this year. Some of you might be real excited to see that in 3 of our locks, one we call our 256, our 226, and our new 136, we're introducing black suede finish as well. So I don't expect you to remember those SKUs, but I do want you to understand that we're offering some of those in black suede. Moving into the Pro Series lineup again, I think this is real important. Again, it plays beautifully into the message we're currently sending. Pro-only SKUs, award-winning form factor, 10-button numeric keypad, whether touchscreen or push button, if you so are inclined to use that. That gives you a nice experience. 10 buttons, not 5, not somewhere in between, but 10. But again, we are finding that all of these are really leading to that hands-free is carefree type solution. In most cases, people really are interacting with these using an app, right, or geofencing, or the potential for Bluetooth as well to lock and unlock. But again, a beautiful form factor there, 9-volt battery override. And now, believe it or not, over 60% of the locks we sell in the Pro channel are key-free, which is pretty significant. And again, I think it sends that same message we're sending. What's very nice, again, about these Pro Series products are that they address some needs that volume installer, frankly, for that reason, any installer has. You have one-touch Z-Wave enrollment, one-button factory reset. So again, very easy to enroll and install or reset if you feel the need. Everything is backlit, sleek, award-winning design, which has been received extremely well. Up to 250 user codes can be managed in these locks as well. You might think of that as almost overkill, but the reality is we don't want to limit you by the number of codes that you can enroll into a lock. Again, these are key-free, which makes them tamper-proof. They can't be bumped, they can't be picked, so they're ultimately very, very secure. We include 4 AA batteries with all of our solutions. These Pro solutions also address what we call small borehole. So, and you really frankly see this a little bit more kind of out west, maybe in older parts of cities, certainly north of the border, but there's something we refer to as the borehole. In those parts of the country I just mentioned, sometimes you run into a smaller borehole than is standard in the majority of applications, and this addresses that very, very well. So again, the goal here was to remove as many obstacles as we could for you, to make the install very clean and simple and easy, and this does a great job of that. This too is one of the solutions that'll be offered in black suede. So all of our products come in satin nickel, oil rubbed bronze, and polished brass. Again, the black suede we have found has become very, very popular and one that has been in greater demand, and so we're introducing that in the 136. And then lastly, I won't dive into specifications here, but I want to take you to a resource that is not only going to serve you well, it's going to serve your self-install customer even better. And it's called Built. So that Built app is a free app. You are welcome to download this to your phone at any point in time. There's no cost associated with that. We've designed this along with Built. So you're going to see some other products there, but first and foremost, you're going to see this as a great tool for our Yale product. So if you were to go into the search field, once you download that app, you could put in YRD136, which is that SKU I showed you a minute ago. And it's going to give you a tutorial, or YRD216 or YRD256, but it's going to give you a tutorial on how to install and enroll that product. And not only is it going to give you a great animated tutorial that you can pause and rewind and fast forward, you can manipulate the image, right? You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can turn it on its head. You can approach it from any angle to really see how this product is being installed in the door. And what a great tool to not only give an installer that might have gotten stuck or is new at doing this and is challenged with the install for whatever reason, but think about that self-install consumer or your end user as a whole that might have said, you know what, I'm installing this myself and I need some help. You know, this is something we're going to communicate to them in this bundle that I'm referencing to you. Maybe it's an existing customer that says, geez, I really just wanted to paint my front door and I wasn't going to call the security company to come out here and remove that lock. I'm going to do it myself, paint the door, and then I want to re-enroll it and reinstall it. What do I do? Well, they don't have to spend 20 minutes on the phone with you at no charge, right? They don't have to get frustrated. You know, they can refer to this wonderful tutorial. Your truck is rolling to another install, which is where it needs to be, and they're figuring out how to put the lock back on the door with a very, very well done tutorial via our built app and program. So I would encourage you to download that after this call or at some point in the next week and familiarize yourself with it. Pretty neat stuff. So again, a bit of a high-level look at the product we offer, and specifically in this case, our Assure product, not our Pro Series only SKUs, but our Assure product family as well, which many of you have used for a long, long time, and you'll continue to see us make changes to form factor and design, etc. What's unique about this product over the Pro Series SKU is that it's modular, right? Our Pro Series SKUs have Z-Wave baked into the motherboard, so that's what they are, and that's okay because that's 95% of what you're using, Z-Wave. But in the event you want a lock that is modular in nature, meaning it could be Z-Wave or Zigbee or Wi-Fi, we want to bring you that opportunity. We do that through our Assure product line. And I think you can see illustrated there very clearly that, again, you can change the radio in the back of that lock to accommodate one of those other wireless protocols. So Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, smart locks. So let's talk about that a little bit more and the ease of use here and the use cases. So, you know, we know we've got Z-Wave out there. We certainly have Wi-Fi, we have Zigbee, we have Bluetooth. You know, there may be a case where you have a customer or you have a program that doesn't involve a security install, that doesn't involve that gateway that supports Z-Wave or maybe Zigbee. And you say, hey, I need to put a solution out there that provides access control for my customer, maybe Carefree is hands-free access control, maybe even another self-install opportunity here, but one that provides remote access with your product that doesn't require a security install or an additional gateway. And we can bring that to you through what we call our Connected by August solution, soon to be called our Yale Access solution. Certainly more to come there, but what this will allow you is features such as, again, auto unlock, using your phone as a mobile credential, potentially using the keypad, or even voice. Never having to fumble with keys, not worrying about whether or not you locked the door or didn't, not worrying about whether or not you have to hide keys. Again, all these things pertain to not only Z-Wave, but in this case, you might also consider offering a Wi-Fi solution as well through our Connected by August platform. And these rules still apply to any one of those. You know, also allowing access or granting access to your children, which ultimately provides you a notification, is pretty nice. Again, one more concern we can hopefully alleviate going forward, but now more than ever when taking care of family, home, and those things that are so precious are so important. And again, a nice illustration of what that Wi-Fi, or what we refer to currently as our Connected by August module or application, allows for. And this really brings a solution to the table that doesn't necessarily require a Z-Wave gateway to provide you with remote access and those same features that I've been outlining throughout this presentation. One of the very nice things there again about our Connected by August platform is that it works with all three voice control providers. And again, you can think of the use cases where voice control is so useful. And again, hands-free. So in regard to August, some of you may know that we acquired August about 2 years ago here at Assa Abloy, and it's brought a lot of wonderful things to the table. Not only our Connected by August platform that I've mentioned to you here in the two previous slides, but a slew of additional retrofit type products. And that could be our August Smart Lock with just Bluetooth, or it could be our August Smart Lock Pro with Z-Wave, or our August Smart Lock Pro Plus Connect, which really gives you the best of all worlds. And it comes to you in a couple of different form factors. An auxiliary August keypad can be added to that in the event you do want to use a keypad versus your app or your auto unlock via Bluetooth. So again, there's different ways you can kind of slice this up or use it based on different applications. But what you're also going to see going forward, which is great, and we'll be introducing shortly, is our new Wi-Fi lock. You can kind of tell from the picture there that it's got a much sleeker form factor. It's 20% smaller, slimmer, smaller in diameter. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. It currently will come in 2 finishes. It integrates with Alexa, Google Assistant, HomeKit, etc. But we think this is really going to do very, very well as a retrofit solution, and not only a standalone kind of offering, but in the security offering or ecosystem as well. So again, another way for us to broaden our breadth of product and bring a solution to you there that might fit a specific need or niche. So I'm going to dive into some commercial stuff here as well. Now keep in mind, everything I've really set up to this point applies in this case as well, right? So think about those hands-free solutions. Think about the remote capabilities. Think about the remote notifications. Think about the scenes that can be driven when the door is unlocked via the lock, right? So all these same rules still apply. And we know that, for example, multifamily is exploding. Single family continues to do very, very well. Commercial continues to do very, very well. So what have we done? We've brought solutions to you that fit those specific verticals. Let's start with a quick overview of our Sure Interconnect lock. Think about spending time in a hotel. As you exit that door, you throw the lever and the deadbolt retract at the same time, providing you what we call single action egress. This is required by code in many parts of the country, and we're seeing it coming up more and more every day. So the idea again being, from the outside of the door, it looks like a very traditional Yale deadbolt and mechanical lever or knob install. That's what you would see, a very traditional look. But on the inside of the door, you've got this escutcheon that mechanically integrates the lever and the deadbolt to provide you with that single action egress. So again, kind of envision that hotel room door and what that might look like. But again, you could do this using any one of our Sure lock products. So here we've happened to show it with a WiredD 226, which has a touchscreen keypad and a key override as well. But it can be used with our key-free WiredD 256 as well. So again, wonderful solution to address that multifamily need or concern. Our next touch lever, commercial grade 1, 3-hour UL fire rating. Push button version is ADA compliant if that's something you need. A much beefier product, 500 user code capacity. Boy, this guy can take a licking, and not to coin a phrase, certainly keep on locking and unlocking. It's a tremendous solution. The rear entry to a warehouse, a file room, a server room, the office where financial records are kept within a business, whatever that might be, wonderful connected solution in that space, and you can take advantage of all those features I've been mentioning up to this point or applications. And then lastly here in our commercial lineup is our Next Touch Mortise. And don't be confused in thinking this is only a commercial solution, because we certainly see it multifamily as well. But it is a mortise solution, something people have been asking for a long time. Again, comes in a push button and a touchscreen version. You actually even see the little 9-volt battery override on that guy with those 2 little hash marks under the 0 in the center. Boy, if you have a need for a mortise solution, this is it. This guy comes in, again, a couple of different shapes and sizes. So it's what we kind of call a configured SKU. If you need help with that, again, this is one you'd want to reach out to us on for sure. But if you need it, we've got it. It's connected, Z-Wave. Nobody else is going to bring you that solution like that. So I think one of the takeaways up to this point as well is, wow, Yale really is bringing multiple solutions to the table to help us get to what we need. And that's the right application. What's kind of cool about Next Touch here, real quick, just to give you an idea, is that it presents a wonderful access control solution for that commercial customer that might otherwise say, man, I can't afford access control. You know, I've got 2 or 3, let's say hair salons, right? And I'd love to put access control on that door that leads to my server room or that financial office or my manager's office. But I can't afford $2,000 a door for a mag lock or a door strike or an HID reader or a host solution. That's just not in my budget. Well, you could bring them by integrating our Next Touch lever with, let's say a Resideo platform and bringing in a remote service platform, whether that's, Total Connect or Alarm.com or whatever that is. You could bring to the equation a wonderful access control solution for $500 or $600, which is, call it, a fourth or a fifth of the cost of traditional access control. The ability to provide them with schedules and notifications as to when your employees are coming and going. I mean, you could just go on and on and on here, but what a great way to bring access control to an audience that wouldn't otherwise be able to even consider it while you're driving, again, an increased sale and increased RMR potentially. Again, a nice look at the Next Touch Mortise. I'm not going to get into great detail there. I think I gave you a good bit of that already. And a nice look again, and a couple of different flavors there of our Interconnect product. It can really come to you in, again, different finishes, using our different Assure SKUs. For that matter, even different mechanical hardware at the bottom. There's about 12 different options you have there as well. So again, one we can touch on at another date if you have a need for that. But again, that's required by code in a lot of multifamily dwellings. So here's something you didn't expect to see. And I really included this one is because it's very up and coming and something we're going to be launching here very, very soon, but it's smart storage products. And again, I think you'll see the play on hands-free is carefree. In that particular case, you were seeing our Smart Safe, right? Which through our Connected by August app can be monitored remotely. We also offer smart cabinet locks that again will integrate into our Connected by August app and allow you the ability to control the access to a cabinet remotely, or even more importantly, receive a notification. And then lastly, and I'm going to make this a little bit clear for you here in a second, but lastly, that smart home delivery box. We all know how important that has become, especially at a time like this where, I don't know about you all, but I'm driving down the street these days, like once a week when I actually leave the house, and I see people's groceries on their front porch all over the place because they're doing what? They're having them delivered. Or other goods, whether it's dry goods or in some cases even refrigerated goods. People are having things shipped directly to their homes, and these things are being left on the front porch. How nice would it be to put that into a smart delivery box that is safe and secure and you can monitor remotely? Currently, these solutions are going to work on our Connected by August app only. That being said, we're working very, very hard to integrate with others that support Z-Wave platforms. You can imagine who some of those are, to be able to do a cloud integration to pull that into that same app. So the goal would be for you at some point to be able to go into that app that is remotely monitoring and providing you with the connected home solutions, right? And also go in and operate these devices or monitor these solutions as well. The smart delivery box, safe, and cabinet lock. Right now, that integration just lives within our Connected by August app, more of a standalone type solution with those remote capabilities. It does not integrate yet into those same platforms that right now operate Z-Wave solutions. So more to come there, but that is moving very, very quickly, and I would advise you all to get a little bit closer to that. What a great way to open up a door with a new solution you didn't have yesterday. Whether that's with a home builder, single family homeowner, a self-install program, whatever that may be, you can let your mind run wild there. Pretty cool stuff. So kind of rounding third base as we draw to a close here. Technical support, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week technical support brought to you by the team here at Yale. Lifetime warranty on all finish and mechanical aspects of our product, and a 1-year warranty on electronics. The Built app brings you an incredible step-by-step 3D installation overview as well. So the support you need is certainly there. From a marketing perspective, the sky is really the limit. Whether it's digital or hard copy brochures, whether it's physical demos that you may need, or installation videos and tutorials, we have those available for you. How-to videos, door alignment help videos, whatever that may be, it's there. And then lastly, these links that you see here will lead you to those resources. I don't expect you to get all of this today, but again, I'd be happy to share this with you at another time or as follow-up to this webinar. And then lastly, my contact information should you want to reach out at any point in time if you don't already have that. So with that, I'm going to pause. I'm going to let several of you hopefully send in those questions you might have that we're going to address here in a minute. And I'm going to turn this call over to Josh Blanford with ADI and let him speak to you for a couple of minutes. So Josh, if you're there, the floor is yours. Come in, Josh. Are you there?
Josh, can you hear me? You should be open now.
Got you, Mike. I can hear you.
All right, can you get me?
We got you.
All right, guys, I'll start all over then. First off, just wanted to say thanks to Mark and Patrick and all of the guys and girls over at Yale for getting this together for us. Yale's a great partner of ours here at ADI. Also like to say thanks to Mike Maston for putting these webinars together and giving us some ideas how to expand our business while we're going through this time right now that we will get through. My name's Josh Blanford. I am the supervisor for the video surveillance and access control team at ADI and the systems design team here in Louisville. A lot of you guys probably are using our services now. If you're not, what you can do is use us to make sure that you have a proper bill of materials. We kind of work together just on the pre-sale side. So making sure you've got everything that you need for a complete solution, whether that's video, access control, home automation, intercom, AV, everything that ADI sells, we've got a resource here for you to make sure that we've got everything that you need. We also not only handle that for the United States, but we also have a team that handles Canada as well as Puerto Rico. If you don't have our information, you can find that easily on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and of course on our website. Again, want to say thank you to everybody that's participating in this, and again to Patrick for running this webinar. And I'll give it back to you, Patrick, for some Q&A.
Hey, Josh, thanks so much.
Patrick, I'll ask you the questions and you can answer them just to make sure that we get some good flow. Please put your questions in the Q&A box. I'm going to start with the chat first, and we'll move to the Q&A second. That one was answered. That was answered. Audio keeps fading in and out. That was answered. Okay, questions. From Tom Reinertz. Will you distribute this recorded WebEx presentation after the meeting? Patrick, I'm going to take that one if it's okay with you.
Sure.
These webinars in a recorded fashion will reside on the ADI Global Distribution website. You'll go in through the home page and there'll be a banner or a drop down for webinars. And that is not only to listen to recorded webinars, but also allowing you to sign up for new ones. If you want more than that, Patrick's information is up on the page, and I'm sure he'll be happy to send you a copy of this as long as it's not deemed proprietary.
No problem. Happy to do it.
Kenneth Peltier, is there an indoor solution? Sorry, I must have. I'm not sure what happened to the question I started to answer. I'm going to find it.
Mike, hey, Mike, I think I answered. I've been answering some questions here. This is,
okay.
And I think that kind of went away when I answered it.
It did, but that's okay. From Sean Stuckey.
Nice job, Mark.
Just did that to test me. Sean Stuckey asks, you may have mentioned this already, but do your locks have drivers that easily integrate into Control4 or RTI?
Yes. The answer there is absolutely yes. And if you want to give me a call afterward, I'd be happy to go into greater detail with you on that, but absolutely we have product available there.
Okay, Sean also asked, so if I have a lock installed already, would the entire hardware setup need to be replaced if we needed it to work with Control 4, or is there an upgrade path?
There is an upgrade path. It would depend on which SKU you happen to already have installed, but there is an upgrade path. Assuming it's a modular lock, which would make sense, it would probably just be a radio swap. There's a little more detail, in and around that subject matter, but yes, there is an upgrade path. Again, be happy to take that one at any point in time if you'd like to reach out.
Okay, Sean also asked, do you have a commercial product that is designed to work with tube line doors? Very slim line aluminum doors that are mostly glass. So keypads need to be very skinny, and I'm going to say like a mullion mount.
Yep, nope, totally get it. Great question. Thanks for asking. The short and quick answer is no, but let me bring some clarity to that. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's a product that's been requested before. What I can tell you is that there's a product offered in other markets, EMEA primarily, that does address that, our European markets. Yale has now become more of a global reach. We kind of operated in silos in that market versus the US for a long time, but we're now starting to operate kind of under, one, leadership umbrella, if you will. And so I think we're going to see more of those products come to the States. And believe you me, as soon as we have that one ready, it'll be out there lickety split, because I know it's one that people want. But currently we do not have that for that style door.
Thank you, Patrick.
Sure.
Kenneth Peltier wants to know, is there an outdoor all-weather keypad on both sides of a gate? It should be able to lock or unlock from either side of the gate.
Yeah, I love that you're asking me these questions. That's another good one. It's a little bit like the Slimline. Obviously, weather resistant from the exterior side, not from the interior side, which means no, we don't currently have a gate lock that is weather resistant on both interior and exterior. That's another one. It kind of comes and goes. That one comes in waves. We're asked that from time to time, and it seems to be becoming more of an ask. So, I could see that one popping up in the future, but not enough demand, unfortunately, at this point for us to mass produce it.
Okay.
Although I know it's important to you, and I do mean that.
I only have one more question. If you guys have more questions, keep typing them in to the Q&A box. Harvey Bridges wants to know, are you working on a solution for a Euro style cylinder for 3-point doors?
So kind of what we would call, so to answer your question, the closest thing we would have to that is something that currently is now being marketed by Anderson, right? And it's a 3-point locking system. And I think this is kind of where you're going. We initially made that for Anderson because it was very specific to their doors, and it still is. That having been said, we wanted to develop a retrofit solution for those doors. Those doors vary a bit. It's not a one size fits all, and that's why we had to kind of pick a certain manufacturer. But here's the good news. We will have a 3-point retrofit locking solution available that we will sell certainly through ADI here later this year. So whether or not it will fit your door brand is hard to say, as it's being kind of specifically designed for Anderson, but I wouldn't rule that out either, and that will be available to you here through ADI, probably beginning of Q3, Q4.
And Patrick, we actually are also, because the request there I think was specific to the cylinder, and we are actually working on another that is more European, that's almost August-like, where it's a retrofit application to those specific cylinders we're hopeful for many brands of doors. We're looking to have that again in the third, fourth quarter this year as well.
That's great. Hey, thank you for that question. It was very good. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, so we've reached the end of today's webinar. I hope you all are finding great value with these. I want to just address one thing, which is the webinars are in fact stored on the ADI Global homepage, as well as I got 2 people that are raising their hands. Please type your questions in. So the webinars are being hosted on the ADI homepage and also on the ADI YouTube page. There are certainly a host of things that Yale or Assa Abloy, the parent company, will host on their own pages. And I encourage you at this point in time to really reach out to the manufacturers that you're working with or the manufacturers that you want to work with and engage with them to get the levels of training that you need now to hit the ground running when we get past this. Usually I would say thank you, but we got a couple other questions that have come in. So Patrick, I'm just going to pick up where I think I left off.
Sure.
Eric Vanzo wants to know, are there any plans to integrate these locks with other systems or equipment? For example, to add audio and video, like teaming this up with a Ring doorbell or a camera with audio.
Sure. So we really already do that. So, you know, right now we've got solutions that integrate with Ring as well as Nest, of course, right? Where cameras are involved, audio is involved, and of course our locks are integrated. So those solutions do exist already. Absolutely.
Okay, and Wilkinson Andre asked, what slimline solution do you have for a mailbox business that allows for remote user management?
I think maybe if I'm hearing that question correctly, they might be talking about, again, that slimline product that would fit a storefront type door with a narrow mullion style door. If that's the case, not a solution we currently have, but one that's been out there on the drawing board for a while. So hopefully I'm answering your question there. If not, again, please feel free to reach out directly.
Dick Peterson followed that question up with, how about a URC total control?
What's the question? Not sure I follow that one.
Dick, can you retype your question, because I'm not sure exactly where in the context it was, and I'm certain I'm not answering or asking the question well enough.
And again, I mean it. Feel free to reach out directly if you want to dive into that a little bit further as well.
Okay. Trevor Taylor wants to know, can you charge any lock with a 9-volt or just the Pro locks?
Great question. So both Pro locks, absolutely, because they are key free. So all of our key free solutions will have the 9-volt battery override on the underside of the lock. So if you were to kind of reach underneath that, the lip of the lock underneath, you'd feel that 9-volt battery override. But what you're seeing on some of our commercial solutions now and our lever solutions is that 9-volt battery override, or those terminals are on the face of the solution just under the 0. Those two little silver hash marks are those terminals for that 9-volt battery override, and you could use that there. But on the Pro Series SKUs or any of our key-free SKUs, you're going to find it underneath the lock, and it's very easy to access as well, very accessible.
The next two questions come from Eric Brown. How can pros get the same pricing through ADI as through the Yale Pro website?
You really can't, right? So as we sell that through wholesale, the most aggressive pricing is offered, frankly, through wholesale. So really, we'd encourage you to drive your business through wholesale. Happy to explain that further if you want to reach out. We don't want to keep you from buying on the Yale website, but it's really not designed to offer you wholesale pricing. The wholesale pricing comes through ADI.
I'll follow that up with reach out to your local ADI branch.
Yep.
Be very forward with what you are paying and what you are looking for, and use the ADI outside sales agents known as RASs, or regional account specialists, and they'll dissect your account by the part number, by the manufacturer, or by the general product offering, i.e. access control or intrusion.
Perfect.
Eric also asked, sorry, I digressed. Eric also asked, are there smart lock solutions coming for sliding glass doors?
Oh, are they coming? The answer is yes. Is it imminent? The answer is no. You know, the challenge there, just to add a little color, great question, is that there are many shapes and sizes to sliding glass doors. And to have one universal or, you know, two locks that fit the majority of doors would be very, very difficult. Unlike a traditional door that has a single bore hole that is very easy to retrofit, sliding glass doors aren't so easy. So the challenge there is creating a product that would meet the demand or large majority of those doors. And right now that just doesn't exist, but fair question.
Okay, Sean Stuckey asked if we are new to installing door locks and doors are not their expertise.
Sure.
The core business is pro AV, both residentially and commercially. Do you offer some good tutorial for both installation and correct product choices per project?
We do, and I'm going to take, and so one, reach out, we can send you the tutorials, we can do an online training, we can potentially do a local training, so all the above. And with that question, I want to expand on one topic as well, so that was perfect timing. I alluded to a solution within the presentation called our Connected by August solution, and I want to clarify a little bit there. So any one of our Assure locks can have a Connected by August radio put into it that really turns it into a Wi-Fi solution and provides you with a standalone solution that you can then download the Connected by August app to and use remotely. So you don't have to integrate it with a security platform. The challenge there is this, that Connected by August solution partnered with a Yale piece of hardware gets a little confusing, right? Because why would we have this Connected by August solution integrating with a piece of Yale, you know, hardware? So for that reason, frankly, that is about to change. And that is going to be called Yale Access. So rather than calling it Connected by August moving forward, you're going to have the opportunity to buy a bundled Yale Access solution that would have one of our Assure locks in it, the lock you choose, right? Along with what we call a little Connect bridge, and will be powered by Yale Access, not by August. And that app will mirror Yale as well and display Yale. It'll be skinned Yale. So that's a great solution, standalone offering with remote capabilities that I think you're asking for. And you'll see that transitioning taking place here in the next couple of months.
All right, Dick Peterson, I still don't understand your question, so I'm going to open your microphone, which I've just done, and allow you to ask your question directly to
Total control is just like a Control 4 situation. It's Z-Wave, Zigbee, but it's by universal remote control.
Gotcha, Dick, and it was the audio was a little muffled there on the front end. I think what you're asking is, do we have a solution that will integrate there?
Yes.
Yeah, and so we support Zigbee, obviously, and Z-Wave. The unique thing about Control 4, as you obviously know, is that they're proprietary Zigbee, so that's a little bit different, right? But as far as what you're mentioning, we would support them with the Zigbee integration, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got it. Great question. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, that is it for today. I've thanked you once. I'll thank you again. I hope I see you tomorrow or later this week. We're continuing to try to offer a number of different technologies and solutions. And again, my real message to all of you is invest in the training now while you have the time, because it will pay you back 10 times as businesses open back up. Continue looking for businesses that you can get into now, such as schools, automobile dealerships, and others that are closed, and you should be able to work more freely. Maybe you'll get your summer work done in the spring and you'll have new opportunities this summer. Patrick and Mark, thank you so much for being our presenters today, and I look forward to what comes next.
Hey, it was a blast, Michael. Thank you, and thank you all for participating. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.